This had been a long time coming, but good things come to those who wait. Ian Cranborne had bided his time. He had climbed the ladder of the organisation slowly. He had shook the right hands. He had been noticed by those who mattered. And now, finally, power. The thing he valued above all things. That's what it was all about as far as Mr. Cranborne was concerned. Those who have power fear to lose it. Those who don't crave it. This was just the way it was. For Ian, justice was simply an illusion, an ideal, not a reality. This isn't fair was the age-old complaint of losers and no-marks the world over. "I'm very proud of you, my darling," said Maria, Ian's very supportive, but sort of vanilla wife. Ian loved his wife and kids. His home life was quite dull, routine, middle class, and quintessentially English. His career in accounting was a success. He had excelled in school, but no one had ever really liked him. He just coasted through, in reality. But he had always sensed that he was superior to his peers. He was of the belief that good breeding made for good people. People who were demonstrably better than the mob of the working classes. The common man should be led for his own good, Ian had often thought to himself. And he was a leader of men. The family motor pulled into the community centre car park. Ian killed the engine and looked to his wife, who gave him a reassuring smile and said, "Come on then, girls." Ian, Maria, and their 2 young daughters then exited the vehicle. Ian took a moment to draw in the night air and look up at the stars. "All right then," he said in almost a whisper. "On with the show." As the family entered the hall, they could see that all the gang was here tonight. As they should be, of course, thought our Mr. Cranborne, for this was his night. He had risen to the top, as he knew he would. This wasn't about democracy, as some might mistakenly believe. This was about his peers recognising that he, Ian Arthur Cranborne, was a superior man. He was the best man to lead this organisation to greater heights, and he knew he would do just that. People took their places and things got underway. Ian and family were close to the front, as was required. The treasurer of the organisation spoke first, followed by the Secretary General, who steadily ploughed through the issues of the month. They had to go through all of the routine and mundane stuff before coming to Ian Cranborne. For in truth, this evening was essentially the dawning of the Cranborne era. As the speaker continued, going through the motions, so to speak, Ian allowed his mind to fix on his parents. Though long dead, their influence couldn't be reasonably denied. Ian had hated his father, the authoritarian military man, emotionally cold. He had never shown Ian any affection. This joyless man had taught his son never to show any emotion publicly, as this was unmanly and could lead to no good. Play your cards close to your chest and always keep your guard up. This was his father's wisdom. His mother doted on Ian. She was very protective of her only child, and never neglected to let him know that she loved him and lived for him. He hated her too, but for very different reasons. He saw her as weak and feeble-minded, just another stupid and sentimental female, good for keeping house and not much else. She had never stood up to his father, and had always looked to make excuses for him. Things would have been different if I'd had a brother or two, Ian thought. And then he caught himself and shook off his train of thought. The past is the past. Now is what counts. Power counts. He took in a deep breath and savoured the moment. Then he was announced. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. You all know Ian as well as I do. He's been with us for many years now, and I'm sure we can all agree that he has shown beyond any reasonable doubt his commitment to the cause, as well as a natural ability to organise and lead. So, without further ado, because I don't want to embarrass him, please let's have a round of applause for our new president, Mr. Ian Cranborne. Ian, if you'd be so kind as to join us on stage. The 14 people in the hall clapped politely as Ian joined the Treasurer and Secretary General on stage. "Thank you, you're too kind," said Ian, exuding false modesty. This was it. The cream had risen to the top. Ian Arthur Cranborne was now president of the Association for the Prevention of Cruelty to Snails. No worldly power could stand in his way.